Hello, and welcome to another episode of Astartes Anonymous. I have killed Tom and facsimilated a clone in his place for this subject. These are my co-hosts.
Thank you, Red. Hi, I'm Tom, and I have been ousted as host for this episode at gunpoint.
And hello everyone, my name is Lucas, or better known as Moots.
Hello, I am Aaron.
Yes, excellent. And just to make sure my authority is not questioned, I will make Aaron explode.
Aaron, no, watch out. Don't open that suspiciously shaped package.
Aaron, no!
Okay, now that that's taken care of, we can move on with the fucking podcast. Finally, nothing will stop us.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh shit, hold on guys, real quick.
What's going on?
And I say, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. I said, hey.
God damn it, it's fucking the worst time for that to arrive, sorry.
No worry.
I might just stay in.
God damn it.
I might just keep that.
God damn it.
Okay, stop fucking around. We got some shit to do and discuss, alright?
Alright,
God.
Very serious topic. No silly business, no shenanigans.
Alright, I'm gonna fucking about to make both of you explode in a second. We don't start acting
No,
right.
please. I'm still wearing Aaron's intestines, please.
Alright, anyway, we have some fucking models of the month. Oh shit.
A well-oiled machine, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back to the worst podcast. Anyway, models of the week, right? We got people in our Discord server. They like to post the models, and we like to show off the ones we like. If you didn't see yours here, we either didn't see it or we didn't like it, all right?
Oh, God, he doesn't mean that. We only get to pick two.
Yeah, let's go with anyway, the first one that I'm going to go over. The first one I'm going over is done by Revi, our friend, Tom's girlfriend, and Inquisitor of the server. Anyway, she has made a really fucking cool Mother Fiend, Forge Fiend conglomeration of this incredibly mutated beast.
A crime against nature. In the best way possible.
Just like you, Moots.
Oh, yuck.
Did you just say, oh, yuck?
I sure did.
This is why we need to outlaw Sweden.
I don't know why that came to me when you said crime against nature, but here we are.
We'll fucking do it again.
Anyway, you can see... normally you can only build one or the other with these kits, where the arms are, that's where the plasma cannons go. But Revi, she took some green stuff and she glued it to the side, the vents to the side, and she proceeded to wrap around all these green stuff tendrils to seamlessly make it look more like an overgrown mutation rather than just a mechanical beast.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because outside of just gap filling, this is actually her first true attempt at using green stuff for actual additions to a model.
Yeah,
I think it's come out really well.
Really knocked it out of the park with that when the tendrils are really smooth.
For sure.
Plus the little tendrils coming out of the base and stuff is a really nice addition to it.
Well, when I first saw it, I thought that's cool. That looks really nice, and I thought that was the end of it. And then she just added on top all the tendrils and shit. I was like, wow, nice. Fucking epic. There we go. That really sold it.
I think
she's really proud.
I think my favorite part of it is on the vambrace or the arm of the Mauler.
I was about to say the same thing.
All the tentacles coming out of underneath the plate makes it look like all this goes all throughout underneath it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Shall we move on to the second model of the week?
Of course. This one was Aaron's suggestion, by the way, folks. So, considering he's dead now, someone else will just talk about it, I guess.
So this was a Chaos Knight Abominant made by I'm going to butcher this name. Purinina. Made by Purinina. Just a really all-round solid knight. Great gradient work on the shoulders. Really lovely Khornate sort of style base, even though I don't think Knight Abominants can be associated with Khorne.
I don't think it matters.
No.
But no, it's a really, really fucking gory, lovely, just all-round well done Chaos Knight.
Yeah, I really like it.
I like the stippling on the shoulders. It gives that weathered look. Also, you can see little flyer things. I don't know if that's just on the kit or if that's something they added.
It is. It is the little sort of demon crow things are vulture things are a part of the kit. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
didn't know that. I still love the detail of the cockpits chained.
Yeah.
You're not coming out of that once you go inside the forever box.
And I thought it was bad in a dreadnought. But yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the stippling. I don't know, because that's the first thing I thought about as well. It looks super nice. The weathering on this is really wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It's interesting because Pieranina is quite a new sort of addition to our Discord at the time of recording this. Episode, and you can sort of see that stippling as well on the head and on the legs and some of the other panels around the gun. I think it really bodes well to see what more stuff they bring forward in our completed miniatures channels. And to anyone watching, if you want to see your miniatures featured in here, do join our Discord and post your miniatures.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They also a small donation of $450,000.
No.
400. Why 450? Why not 40K?
Why go for what people expect, Moots? This is why you're you're behind the times.
And on that terrible topic, I just wanted to let you all know that we have a Patreon up, running, and live. And if you enjoy our content, you enjoy the podcasts, I'd really appreciate it, and we would all really appreciate it if you just went and had a look. Our lowest tier is just a $2 tier. And we appreciate any and everything.
For $2 a month, you too can support Tom's Big Mac addiction.
I was really hurt by that. That stung. I felt that. You said that, and I felt it in my chest.
That's all the Big Macs I've been eating.
Red, would you like to introduce us to our main segment?
Okay, so if you didn't read the title or you just can't read and you're not paying attention, we're talking about 40K artists because one of the biggest parts of the community is the artists in general. Anything from actual like drawn art to miniature art to voice acting, everything from Astartes to Chaotic, who we had on the podcast before. They all add a lot to the hobby itself, and a large portion of that are the artists, and specifically the artists that people get commissioned all the time, who do their own art all the time, that really give for Warhammer 40K it's like huge media swing, because all the time you go on the internet and you see all these artworks done, and maybe 30 to 40% of it is actual official art, and the rest is just fan art of all the people who care about and are passionate about the setting. And I picked a couple of artists that I have both talked to, got commissions done by, and talked about showing them off on this episode. So if anyone sees their art that they got commissioned, I just pulled them off of their art pages. We talked to the artists; they know we're doing this, so they're okay with it. So if you see your custom OC Marine, sorry, I don't know the name.
And so I think another thing to add as well, like, if you've been thinking about getting an art commission for your homebrew, whether it's a homebrew Chaos, Space Marine faction, homebrew Xenos, etc., I suspect by the end of this video, you may have some ideas about who you may want to approach with that, because we're about to show off some of, in our opinion, some of the greatest community artists out there. In fact, a lot of these names I'd be surprised if you actually hadn't heard before.
Yeah, well, that's funny because we were just talking about that. You see official art and you see most of it being fan art. So many of these artists' pieces I see being used as more or less official art by fans. Like people have started like connecting these wonderful artists' work as more or less canon in many ways. Like, for example, we'll get to that more in detail, but George Abalayan's Quarks, for example, is a perfect example of this.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, all these artists have their own distinct styles, and they all excel in different ways. And I'm not saying that this isn't a tier list. There's no specific order we're discussing this. I love all these artists, and I love working with them and getting stuff done by them because they all have such a great catalog. And we'll be putting some of my own commissions up along with the ones we talk about. But other than that, the first one I want to talk about is none other than Imagist Iris, or Remembrancer of Terra off of Instagram.
Yep.
I found Iris one time when just looking at my recommended in Instagram, and I found her account, and one of the first things I saw that she did was this portrait of the lion. I don't know if you guys are looking at that right now.
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, she has this really, really clean in like art, like brush stroke style. I don't know how to properly describe that. Moots is the artist here. I'm not.
Well, I definitely agree with what you're saying, but what I find most impressive is generally her sense of metallics. That's really where she shines. Badumts. And
Funny man.
it's okay. I'll go fucking throw myself into the fucking incinerator after this.
It's good for the company. Yeah, it's so awesome to see Iris grow throughout this whole time knowing her, and her metallics have gotten really good. Like that Night Lord right here, like how the armor shines and the lightning goes by.
Yeah. Well, it's really interesting because I remember you showing me Imagist Iris, I want to say about a fortnight before you got your first commission done by her. And I do remember that sort of time as well when her Instagram page was relatively small. And it has been a really wonderful experience over the last 18 months. Just see it fill up with these exceptional Warhammer 40k homebrew pieces and canon pieces as well. It's been a really interesting sort of year or so, just sort of watching that development to see an artist go from a small artist to certainly a recognized community artist. You know?
Yeah. I think one of my favorite things about her art is it has a very Renaissance style to it.
Definitely.
Like this one of the Indian-inspired Inquisitor, I believe. All the architecture is both imperialistic and has that slight Indian inspiration to it.
Yeah.
And she has great range in general. You just mentioned the architecture, for example. But most of the time you'll probably see her character pieces, but she also does great environments.
Oh yeah.
And for example, I don't remember exactly the name. Rosa,
Rosalind.
Rosalind, yeah, the Eldar. I'm a sucker for sky effects, and that shit fucking rocks.
Yeah.
This and not to even mention the textures of their cloak as it's being ripped, and the all the textures. It's great all around.
One of my I really like her art pieces of her character Val. She really puts in like all the effort into drawing her, because each one is just comes out better than the last. Like this one of her walking up the stairs, like the angle of the camera, I guess you can say, how it's kind of pointing down the stairs. You can see her walking up, and the light hitting, and the metallics of the bionic arm shining through, and the shadows and all that. It's just a really smooth art style and really good. And she's not just good at drawing like smooth and clean stuff. She can do chaos too. This one world eater by Enter the Butcher on Instagram, or KPU, as some of you might know him, on our Discord if you're watching it. He gets a bunch of our commissions, and you'll see a few of his. Two of these are actually
is this
his.
KPU's?
Yeah, this is KPU's. This is his OC Skull Taker or something.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
This is I think this is one of the first things of this character. This is actually the first chaos thing I've seen Iris draw. With the mutated armor and the decapitated head and the hellscape around it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't realize that was KPUs.
Yeah. And same with this Iron Warrior right here that looks like the Hercules looking dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, both those are KPUs.
We can't not talk about the two that we've got in front of us already that Iris has done, that she had actually, I'll put them on the screen at the same time, that she had actually done for Red.
Mm-hmm. Will you put it up on the screen, Tom?
I will.
This time.
The thing is, because this is one of those episodes that where the screen is kind of integral, I have no choice. There's like no way I can forget, you know. Mm-hmm. But on the left, we can see Mr. Man in chair, and on the right, we can see Mr. Man with axe. If you'd like to talk about these two characters briefly, Red, before we jump to the next one.
That's not this isn't the episode. They're just homebrew characters for the Storm engines. That's all people really need to know.
Fair enough. Right. Would you like to introduce our next one?
Anyway, and moving on from Iris, we're going to talk about Praetor K. Another relatively small artist, unfortunately, because I definitely think he deserves a lot more attention with
I agree.
How fucking awesome his art is.
I have no fucking clue how he isn't as recognized as he should be. It's super strange.
Yeah, he has like such a bombastic style of doing Marines. I love it. One of the first things I saw of him was this Night Lord right here. And I just love how he just looks so goddamn weighty.
Yeah.
I've only just realized this other Night Lord that we've got. It might not even be a Night Lord. No, it's probably not a Night Lord. But I've only just realized this other one is Vlad the Impaler as a Chaos Space Marine.
Yeah, I think
that's actually, I've only just clocked that. I've seen this image tons, and I've only just noticed that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually.
I think that's by
Look at the face.
Heretic Arts on Instagram. That's his character.
Oh.
Yeah, I only know because I saw it in one of the comments. I didn't know it was before. But yeah.
Speaking of like the technique here again, he has a very interesting side. He all his whereas you can imagine his Iris images they're not mute in any way, but they're very mellow in a very nice way. They all the colors really blend together. As you say, Praetor's art really pops. It jumps at you. It has a strong. He has a strong sense of color when it comes to like just making shit pop.
It's almost like it's very similar, if not the same as Iris, is just more aggressive in a way.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I can
kind of see that, yeah. We can't not show on the screen, though, the fucking Henry Cavill custodian.
Yeah.
That is spicy. I've seen a bunch of people over the last sort of 12 months attempt to put Henry Cavill's face into custodian armor. Mm-hmm. Nothing comes close to this. This is the best one.
This is the best one.
It looks like him, but still makes him look like some sort of gene-wrought fucking transhuman. Mm-hmm. You know? Not just Henry Cavill's lovely, clean face sat atop power armor, but actually as a part of it, and I think it's wonderful.
If you notice the little slash on his like shoulder part, it has his name on it.
Oh, I see.
Oh.
You see the RY, but I'm assuming it's Henry on the other side.
I think so, yeah. I think just to the end of the N, yeah, definitely.
I love the idea that there's a custodian whose name is just Henry.
Brother Henry.
And the same with the rest of like Iris's. I really liked how Praetor K does backgrounds. Mm-hmm. Like even though the backgrounds are really minimalistic, you can see what's going on behind there.
Well, I mean, looking at going away from the minimalistic one, I mean, we already spoke about the Vlad the Impaler one with the impaled people in the background, but the actual Sons of Horus Praetor one with what I believe is a... Nope, I've forgotten what that demon's called.
It's not even a real demon. That was one of my commissions, and I just want like a demonic looking wolf behind him.
Oh yeah, I forgot this was yours. Holy crap! You get so many, I lose track of them, man.
Man is single-handedly funding all the fucking 40k artists.
I would love a statistic of just the total amount of money you have given to these community artists over the last 2 years.
I don't. That number would probably hurt to look at.
Understandable.
But with that Praetor one, you can see in the background there's like a beaky dude holding up a banner back there. But it's not even like completely detailed in. You just see the vague shape of it.
Yeah, actually.
And you can tell.
It's really excellent.
Well, that's a wonderful thing about Praetor's art. It's his backgrounds, although minimalistic, really carry the main part of the piece, which is the characters. It's in a way which is to me as a fucking comic book nerd very similar to like Frank Miller's art in a sense, where it's minimalistic, I suppose.
Yeah, like going back to the Korn Berserker one, you can see how the bodies are just the shapes of mutilated bodies, but the half-drawn lines really sell the idea of bodies being ripped apart.
Yeah. Well, it adds to the mutilated, sort of destroyed nature of them. I really want to quickly just put on the screen this Gravis. Presumably it's some kind of Gravis captain from what I would also assume is probably an Iron Hand successor. I just love this. I've done this before where I've put one of the Cataphron arms on a Space Marine kit bash like has been done here. I can actually ID where the parts of the model this art is based off are from, and that just makes me really happy. But it's really exceptional, you know.
One thing about the Gravis one is the light effect on the bionic arm.
Yeah.
I really like the harsh blue light.
And also like the fire like partially enveloping his legs, just rising upwards like that. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Fucking awesome fucking artist all the way around.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But moving on, another one. This next artist we'll talk about, I could probably fill out all the art we're about to talk about with commissions I've just gotten from him alone.
Well, it's actually quite funny because this next one is Konstantin Void, and I just want to throw out there real quick before we really get going. Reddit's given us a list behind the scenes of a bunch of different images we want to potentially talk about. Maybe not all of them, but certainly most of them. And one of the ones he's actually left out of this catalogue is the second ever commission I ever got was actually from Konstantin Void.
Yeah,
and it's not here in this list.
I forgot about that.
Well, that's it. You've gone through so many with him. I'm not even surprised you've forgotten.
You're in charge of the screen, Tom. You put it up.
I'll put it there.
Behold, Tom's commission. I'm vaguely remembering. It's like 4 dudes. One's pointing very aggressively, like, get his ass.
Dead Necron in the foreground. Right, well, let's move on to some of the other ones done by Konstantin. In fact, I think the first one we should do is the Doomslayer.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, Konstantin, if you're watching this, you left Tom's captain's leg unfinished in the last art piece. I don't care. Tom seemed pretty beat up about it, but
Tom wasn't beat up about it. Konstantin, ignore him. It's fine. I mentioned it in conversation like once, and they've never dropped it. Anyways, Doomslayer. Doomslayer.
Konstantin is an artist I've talked to a lot. I've gotten a lot of commissions done by him, and he has done a lot of commissions. He's done stuff for. He's actually done the Dark Souls art book for Russia. So Russia, they don't. I'm not too sure about the whole Russian imports and exports type thing, but
the logistics of this.
The logistics, but they released an art book for Dark Souls, and Konstantin Void was in charge of it. He made the cover and all of it. It's really cool art. And it's just a catalog of just Dark Souls art rendered in Konstantin's style. There might be some other ones in. I haven't personally seen it, but I've just seen the stuff that Konstantin does. And again, his grasp on metallics and lighting and just form overall is really good. Like me and him talked about is that he really likes to make Marines look like they can move around in their armor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we were doing a back and forth where we were talking about how some of the official artwork kind of has like a distorted feel to it. Like either the neck is too long or the shoulders are too far apart. But Konstantin fixes this the best he can by basically just minimizing the Space Marine silhouette into being something a bit more flexible in the heavy armor they are.
Yeah.
But like Tom said before, one of the artworks that Void did is one of Doomslayer about to kill a cyber demon.
Yeah, it fucking rocks. This shit is fucking great. It's like just the way he's gotten the fiery lighting off of him to like the bounce effects of the light. Oh god.
One thing I really like is Doomslayer himself. He gave him that really meaty strongman look to him.
Yeah.
Those arms. Jesus fucking Christ. That's
the arms. Look at the size of his thighs. Each one of them is a torso fat.
But even then, like his physique, you can see how his waist, like his hips and his like top of his pecs are the same fucking like plane. This man can fucking crush you.
This man has melons for biceps. This is
you can even see the spider
impressive.
demon behind him, like scared out of his mind. The
Yeah,
Doomslayer is
oh
there.
shit! Oh no, I don't want to fuck with that. No way, Jose.
Playing Doom 2016, these demons are desperately trying to get away from him.
Yeah.
But there's actually, there's a bunch of different ones we can go through whilst we're talking about Konstantin Void, and I'm sure I'll put all of them up on the screen sort of separately. But there's a couple I really want to focus on. In fact, there is 2 or 3 I personally would really like to focus on. The first of which is kind of 2 of them at the same time, so I'll put them on the screen at the same time. And that is his Imperial Fist character.
That's actually Valak.
And
That is Valrak.
is that Valrak?
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh,
I was going to
wonderful.
bring it up, saying Constantine's even done commissions for Valrak. So
Excellent. And also the Sons of Medusa, I wanted to put on the screen as well. Now, the reason I bring these 2 up, there's other examples we could fish out, but these are the 2 in front of me right now. One of the things where Konstantin Void excels, in my opinion, far more than the vast majority of most other community artists, is in doing really wonderful high-definition characters, singularly on their own. Oh, pardon me. I'm gassy today, boys.
Well, there you.
kill him. Do you want to explode just like I fucking did to Aaron?
Oh god, please.
Fucking get him, boys.
No. But singular characters on their own that are just immensely overbearing. You can sort of feel the weight of them whilst looking at them, and whilst you can look at this art and go, okay, well, it's clean. Is he restricted to doing clean stuff? We could actually then flip over to this other one that I wanted to talk about, which is it's almost like a found footage image
Yeah.
of a Night Lord mashing his way through guardsmen, and there is nothing clean about this.
So this is actually part of a series of photos he did, and it's like a little, like an art comic basically called Prey, and it starts off with just these little Imperial Guard guys walking through like the under this tunnel or underhive wherever they are. Then suddenly the Night Lord attacks, and they're desperately trying to shoot at him, but he's just fucking coming after them.
I might be totally wrong, but I do believe it's made in 3D and with some painting, with a lot of painting over.
So yeah, he does actually start off posing and modeling stuff with a 3D stickman, basically not stickman, but it's a 3D rig of what the proportions are, and then
which is totally cool, by the way. It looks awesome. Yeah.
And he proceeds to like start rendering it and overlaying it, adding the details with his art.
Mm.
And it really gives you the vibe of the depth, and it helps with the lighting and weight of everything.
Yeah. And as a person who would be seeking a piece of commissioned art, it's exceptionally helpful to get those work in progress photos from Konstantin when it's in that phase, because then sort of redoing posing and sort of reworking posing to something that would be more akin to what you're imagining becomes a considerably simpler process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is, again, if you're someone who is looking to get art done, that is a wonderful, wonderful premium thing to have,
Yeah. One thing when I get a commission done by Void, he'll actually continuously send me like updates and stuff, and we go over like what to do going forward, and if I like it or if I don't, or what I want to change. And he very much makes it accessible for you to work with him into getting the art done.
Yeah. Great guy.
Like he's a very patient man. He's awesome.
No, I remember all the conversations I had with him over 2 years ago now to get this piece again. And it was an absolute treasure and a joy, and it's a crime that I haven't actually had a commission done by him since. But Konstantin, I know you're listening to this. Soon, I'm coming for you.
If he stops buying all them Big Macs, that is. A funny thing about that Terminator, by the way, that's actually the first Terminator he's ever did.
Oh, the Sons of Medusa Terminator.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually really fun because it's based off this model.
Yeah, it was
Right here.
it was a thing I got done for Tom, but I remember sending him the model, and he goes, "A Terminator, finally!"
At long last.
and then after that, I was like, you know what? I want to get my own Terminator, which is how he came up with this one of the Storm Engine's chapter champion vibe checking some fucking Tau.
Yes, beating a motherfucker with another motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
You'll see.
God, that's good.
There's actually another thing about another thing with this guy Alexandros, this chapter champion. You'll see, and his theme is that he loves throwing Tau.
Well, with that, should we move on to? I'll transition it right into the next one.
Yeah, and even
if you would, Red.
And going back down, we have probably who I would consider one of the best guys to go to for just Space Marines. He has a very distinct style of a Space Marine. He even went over it how he thinks.
You gotta say his name.
Oh yeah, George Abalayan, of course. Abalayan. I butcher the name all the time. If you're listening, George, I'm sorry.
Abalayan?
I'm sure someone will correct me. People love when other people make mistakes. Anyway, George, I've got a couple art commissions done by George as well. I have I have one in the works right now. But George, he goes about Space Marines in the same way that he wants to emphasize their weaponistic nature. How he talked about he doesn't view them as normal men. They're more like Frankenstein's monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the way he makes the Marines look very brutal and like beat up and mean. He has just this great style of bringing in that grittiness that you should see Space Marines have. Like this one of the what is this? This I think these are the Marines Malevolent laughing at some red
and
scorpions.
the red scorpions. Yep.
You could see like the bovine nature is how they're described and how their bodies don't look like normal men. As opposed to Konstantin, who tries to make them look more in line with the human physiology.
Give them that sort of motion to them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. George goes into the more, big motherfucker nature of them.
And I absolutely love this piece, and it's yet another example, I think, of people using this piece a lot for purposes of showing the Marines Malevolent.
I've seen it so many times in Marines Malevolent lore things.
Yeah,
like their dicks.
This picture, it's just become so synonymous with them, I just love the dude's face. He's just so fucking happy laughing at these fuckers.
Yeah.
He is an absolute asshole, and I love him for it.
The malevolent guy, not George. George is
George is lovely. I've fucking talked to him a lot. He's a wonderful guy. Love you, George. Mwah.
Yeah. One thing I like about this art is the bolters themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They look
hefty. Shonk.
And he does almost I've seen him do almost every single chapter faction legion there was. Like this one of Lucius the Eternal before he became, down with the sickness.
And he even did the one version where he is down with the sickness.
Where he's all scarred up and smiling like a maniac.
Yeah.
He even knows how to make like these bovine superhuman weapons, like the Emperor's Children aesthetic of making them look very perfect and handsome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I gotta talk about this. It's my favorite piece he's done. I've got to talk about this Crimson Fist whole chapter coming together image. This man, George. I got to get you to do something like this for me, man. This is so fucking cool. This is so unreasonably fucking cool because you never get to see good artwork of an entire chapter amassed like this. and with the knights and titans in the background for scale, the stormbirds, all the impulsors off to the side. There's even a fucking Astartes in there. And then you've got these two marines. One of them is Pedro Cantor, front and center in the foreground with a tech priest for scale. And it just, oh man, it tickles my pickle. It really does.
And we don't even see him from the front. We just see his frame from the back. It just, it's a wonderful piece.
Well and truly,
this is the type of representation that other chapters needs besides the Ultramarines.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes, it is hands down one of the best pictures of the Crimson Fists. Amassed.
The Crimson Fist fans are gonna go after you now. They're gonna fucking.
The Crimson Fist fans and the Imperial Fist fans are the same people.
No. They're two different beasts. They're gonna come for your ass. Yeah. You better fortify your ass for the.
One thing I do want to say about George is that he is, I'm pretty sure, the first person to ever draw a proper Krork. And if you don't know what a Krork is, look it up. A Krork...
No, I'll tell you what Krork is. So, quick history. During the War in Heaven, which was the war that happened well before the setting even started, when the Necrons were fucking around with the Catan, the old ones decided they needed a race of defenders, and that's where they created the Krorks. These orcs were essentially the rank-and-file orc troop was as strong as... or rumor has it, as strong as a Primarch, and that was the Krorks. And we've got no real official imagery of the Krorks.
I mean, we have,
as Red was saying,
we have explanations in lore. They're like 15 meters tall, and they're in fucking super advanced power armor and all that. And George has actually made, like, I'm pretty sure the first one, and I'm only saying it's the first one because I've seen every other person who tries to draw a Krork base it off this drawing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going right back to where I said in the beginning of this video, where he set the standard for what a Krork should look like, and everyone has just followed suit. And it's a great fucking example to follow. It looks wonderful.
Like, if you know anything about the Beasts novel, the Beast, which is a giant orc, was able to overpower Vulcan, and that wasn't even a fully grown Krork. That's how strong Krorks were.
It was a weird time in history.
Yep.
It was definitely a silly time. And
the quote from Red, guys, the War of the Beast was a silly time in the Empire's history.
Before we move on, I just want to quickly highlight a couple of one of my favorites done by George, and that's the one of this Night Lord right behind the guardsman.
Oh yeah, it's so ominous.
Now I'm trying to figure out how panicked is this guardsman that he cannot hear what is essentially a V8 running behind him.
He's not panicked enough. That's the answer.
I love how the Night Lord's just looking at the flare, just like, God damn, that's bright.
The only reason that guy's not dead is the Night Lord is quickly deciding how he wants to turn this man inside out. Does he want to fillet him? Does he want to skin him?
Let me see. Do I knock out the flare first and make his friends think he just disappeared? Or do I leave the flare on and let his friends see what I'm about to do to him?
See, in my headcanon of this picture, the reason he's panicking is because what you've just described is what's happened to the rest of his squad one by one already. This guy is just shitting it.
You can't see the face behind the Night Lord's helmet, but he doesn't. You can just see that he's contemplating something.
He's looking at the flare.
I'm pretty sure he's smiling just like that fucking Marine's malevolent right there.
But now he's looking at the flare and he's thinking, can I fit this in his prostate? That's what's going through his mind right now.
And before we move on, another example of George. I didn't post it here. Anyway, I got one of my commissions. He did another one of my captains. And I was going to comment on the face that he did for my captain.
It's excellent. I know exactly. I'll go find it. I'll post it right behind us now. I know exactly which one you're talking about. It's exceptional.
Yeah, just before, if you want to throw up Imagist Iris's version, Iris...
Oh, yeah, because they both did the same guy.
Yeah, because Iris did the first basically the first unhelmeted version of this character, and he looks very handsome and all that. And then I gave the same thing to George, and he asked me, he looks kind of handsome, did you want him to stay that way? He's like, nah. I'm like, rough him up. And George made him look very rough. and angry and just tired of being in this fucking underhive.
Yeah.
And I love it. He just looks so sick of this shit.
Anyways, shall we move on to the one and only Brushray, one of the absolute all-time greats for anything even remotely chaos, dark admech, or even just admech in general. He's done Necron stuff that's amazing as well.
Yeah.
If you get this guy and you try to get him to do something clean, you are wasting your time. The stuff he does where you let him have his way with creating something that's so, I want to say, impressionistic is absolutely mental. You know?
Yeah, he definitely brings out like the horror that is dealing with stuff like chaos. And Tom will throw up one of the commissions I got done of a kit bash, a couple of kit bashes he's actually done.
Oh god! Well, let's talk about this piece of art with the Demon Princess for a minute, then, shall we? Because there is so much wonderful about this.
So, for those at home, this art is based off 2 models that Tom has personally made. One for Aaron, who previously exploded under mysterious circumstances, and the other one is my Demon Prince, Farinox, who's for an old Iron Warrior army I used to have. I still have Farinox. I'm not getting rid of Farinox. He's too good of a model too. But but Brushray, I gave him the model, and that model, the Demon Prince, my Demon Prince, is made out of one of the automata from Heresy, one of the Mechanicus ones with like the dome head.
Yep.
And I gave it to Brushray, and he just turned it into this wretched, mutated mechanical beast with these thrusters on its back and all that.
Well, there's actually isn't there another piece by Brushray you got of this same dude? Or was that a different artist?
Oh, yeah, no, it was by Brushray, the one with Farinox running.
Yeah, well, I'll put that on the screen as well, because I'll put it on the screen right now. And the great thing about this picture is something that Brushray does extremely well. In fact, I would probably go as far to argue, out of all the artists we're talking about today, he is by far the best at this one particular thing, and that is giving motion, that sense of action and speed
and weight
to an image when you and weight. Yeah, oh, absolutely. When you request that of him, again, you can see this picture of Farinox, the Iron Warriors Demon Prince behind us. The sort of motion that you can see behind this is just
Yeah, like the model itself, due to the limitations of just what the model is, it looks kind of, boxy and slow, but Brushray has been able to convey that into a beast that is just moving, hauling ass.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. And again, I'll bring it back to the other picture, the Nurgle Demon Prince as well, because, again, one of the great things about what Brushray can do is convey that sense of rotting and horror and decay in such a way that you feel it whilst looking at it. It looks like it's falling apart.
Well, speaking from a artist perspective, what I really like about it is that drawing things spiky is a challenge for me, because there's a certain amount of spiky where it's like, this is too much, but he somehow manages to make it look fucking perfect. You're like, this is spiky to all hell.
Yeah.
And it looks horrifying, and it's just great. The fucking Drukhari is one of those examples where it's God, that thing has so many inconvenient fucking spikes on it, but it looks dope as fuck.
I think it's because Brushray is capable of really blending in like organicness into these shapes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because if you look at the Drukhari, you can tell that he has that spine that's going up where one of his legs should be, and his armor doesn't look like metal. It looks organic. And the same thing going back to the Demon Prince's Farinox's thrusters. He has 2 big-ass blight drum thrusters glued to his back on the model. But with Brushray, he added it to where they're attached via like some type of bone growth. And he made the thrusters themselves look like they're not actually machines. They're grown out of him.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, before we continue flapping about Brushray, about these Demon Princes, we can't talk about Brushray without talking about, again, referencing KPU/Enter the Butcher on Instagram. He has used Brushray in excess with exceedingly amazing results. In fact, I'm just going to very quickly just mention KPU/Enter the Butcher's homebrew is called the Iron Butchers, and they are basically just Khornate Iron Warriors, a combination of Iron Warriors and World Eaters. And there is no artist more perfect to accentuate that unique pairing than Brushray. I mean, look at this, for fuck's sake. I'm putting up the one in the middle. That is just...
Yeah, his Warsmith War Axe.
Yeah. I've
just realised right now he stood on a dreadnought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just now, I've just realised that.
And you can, he even, the way the armor's designed with it almost looks like a castle.
Yeah.
Like he's a moving castle itself.
That's something just wonderful about the way he draws, because this thing, I mean, Iron Warriors, they're traditionally very pragmatic, they're very...
Yeah.
They're functional, right?
Yeah.
And he still manages to make this Iron Warrior... fucking coronate Iron Warrior, make it look functional. Fucking ouch, cat is attacking me. Fucking functional, but as yet also spiky. But just in this case, the spikiness is kind of subdued. It's more hinted at. But then you look closer and you're like, yeah, the fucking chest piece looks like a fucking cathedral piece. And oh god, yeah.
And the hammer. The hammers are just saw blades.
Yeah. Ooh. That shit is monstrous.
One thing...
I've just noticed there's a series of Space Marine helmets on top of the Terminator armor. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And just look at all fucking... His Shane cape with a bunch of shit on. God damn.
And this other one that he did, the World Eater, that is actually a Skull Taker again, the same one that we showed with Iris's art.
Yep. I'll put them side by side.
Yeah, same character, just done in different styles. You can really tell the difference between how Brushray really goes crazy into the chaotic aesthetic.
Yeah.
God, that's so fucking cool.
And one of the pieces I really like of this isn't a Marine art or even a Chaos art. It's Mechanicus against Orcs.
Yeah. Well, I think that's one of the things I wanted to mention at the start is that Brushray's work on Mechanicus and mechanical style bits, and his Necron stuff as well, it's worth mentioning them here too. His works on Mechanicus bits and Necron bits is so cool because, again, we can talk about how the spikiness really conveys that sort of chaotic nature of them, but with the sort of chaotic nature of his own art style, you can really pull out the grim darkness of these two factions, which are often depicted as too clean for their own good.
Yeah. Especially the orc, how it's a smiling, snarling maw and the jagged teeth and the beady eyes and the lack of a nose. It's scary as hell.
There's rows of teeth. I've never seen anyone draw orcs with rows of teeth. That's fucking...
It's terrifying.
Shark orc.
Shork.
And a few more things we have here. He has the Skeleton Knight and this weird swamp creature. Both he did, just to show examples that he does do more than just Warhammer stuff. And he's actually done one for me. He's done two for me that aren't particularly Warhammer. One was for our friend Wolf, it was just about a D&D character. And the other one was Eldritch Horror based, and I'll give Tom something to flash on the screen right there. Just to let people know that he does do more than just Warhammer. So if you're looking for just anything that looks chaotic, fucked up, brutal, just definitely go to Brushray. That dude is amazing.
Absolutely.
And he's a super nice guy, and he's always taking commissions, and I can't wait to give him more money.
Absolutely. Fully support that 100%. Now, shall we talk about our last artist for this episode? Because we are burning time, gentlemen. We're coming up to 50 minutes now.
Too bad. Anyway, so the last one we're bringing up is Alexey. And
yeah, boy.
Hold on. I forgot the full name.
Alexey Potorochin.
Yeah, I was going to butcher that. Thank you, Tom. So while previous artists have, all these artists have their own style. You have Iris's Renaissance a painting style. You have Praetor's very aggressive art brushstroke style. Konstantin Void's clean, very hefty style. And George's Space Marines and Brushray's Chaos. And Alexey, I like to say he's kind of like a comic book style to him.
I would say, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say Alexey's stuff is so profoundly unique it's so standalone. It takes, in my opinion, it draws inspiration from so many things. You look at his backgrounds, and you've got oil painting inspiration in there. If you look at the foreground, there's different degrees of sharpness and different degrees of sort of chaotic painting, and he can really do anything, but his own personal spin on things. I mean, if you look at any of his artworks, any one of his artworks, I think he's done a Primarch series. I'll put one of them on the screen now. You look at that one, just take it in for like 5 seconds, and now whenever you see any piece of artwork that was done by Alexey ever again, you will know it's him straight away. Like, there is,
I don't know how else to explain it, but for me personally, I've always kind of seen it as Saturday morning cartoon style on steroids.
Yeah.
It's all the proportions are put to extreme. Not in a way where it's like, this looks goofy as fuck, but in a way where it's carried by the fact that it's Warhammer 40k, and it almost makes sense. You can clearly see that Alexis has a great understanding of proportions. And, he just makes it work.
And how to abuse them.
Yeah, and how to abuse them, exactly. Well, that's a wonderful thing, right? When you learn how to use proportions, you're just like, yep, I'm going to abuse the shit out of this.
I will not use this power for good.
That's how we're in so many comic book characters with such wonderful thighs, to be honest.
Fucking Rob Liefeld.
I have to be completely honest first. I've done art done by Alexey, and I've grown to really like Alexey's style. But at first, I was kind of off-put by it. But over looking at it, it grew on me, and it really grew on me to him becoming one of my favorites.
Well, it's funny you say that. It's really funny you say that. I felt the same way for a long time until I saw this particular art piece of the, I think it's a Black Templars, Emperor's Champion, and a Chaplain. They're facing off against some Khorne Berserkers. Now, the thing is, Alexey does an awful lot of stuff that's just singular characters on their own. And I could forgive someone for going, that's not for me. But anyone who sees this piece of art that I put on the screen right now and doesn't like it is missing out. The scenes he can create with his unique art style, and again with that sort of oil painting inspiration in the background, it looks like it belongs in a codex. It's so cool.
It almost looks like a cathedral type thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Even that, I'm going to go as far as to say, being another, as I mentioned previously, a huge fucking nerd, this fucking art looks like it could fit on a Magic card, actually. It has the exact kind of sort of what's it called? Not the proportions, but the golden ratio, where it's like you have the main characters in the middle. You have these art pieces that really make you focus in on them. Everything draws you into the middle, where they're the centerpiece.
And, of course.
And the oil painting style, it's wonderful.
What I really like about this is that you can tell the motion of everything, like the champion throwing that guy back, the chaplain about to swing into the guy to his right, the demons dropping down, the people getting up or attacking one another and slashing.
But I think my favorite thing about it is how if you think of like it as a scale left to right, foreground to background, the further back you go, the more fantasy it gets.
The
closer you are to the closer you are to the eye, the lens, the more reasonable it seems, and the further back you go, the more it descends into just imagination. And I just love that. And you can see the Emperor's Champion throwing a guy backwards and him falling into that sort of transition. And then your eye is then drawn to all the things going on in the background, and it just goes mental.
Yeah, seeing all the floatingness in the background, that really does invoke the image of like the paintings in cathedrals of all the angels coming down and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like they're like fighting in, not a real place, right? It looks like everything's inverted or like fucking shit's going whack. Yeah, the warp. Well, it looks like they have this. It looks like they just have like a cliff hanging over them, unless that's like smoke and it's just like gravity is all fucked up wherever they are, because some people are hanging upside down, some people are
and even he can even do singular things really well. That this Marine with the red helmet, by the way, this is another one of KPU's commissions.
Which one?
The Marine with the helmet, the Power Fist, the red helmet.
This doesn't look like an Iron Butcher.
It is a adjutor. It's a canon chapter that he's homebrewing a second company for.
Oh,
and this is a sergeant for it, and just the proportions itself, it's just so pleasing to look at for me.
Yes, agreed.
Agreed. The motion of the fist, the plasma gun, the shield, just the proportions of the chest going to the waist, selling the inhumanness of Marines.
Yeah.
It's just the character, just from the knees up and no background. It's just one of my favorite pieces he's done because it's so simplistic, and you just get to see the Marine and see all the little fine details that's been put into it.
It has great volume, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the word.
And I just love the way he has also drawn how his his upper body is turned. You see the bits and pieces are the joints and bits are slightly turning more or less with his torso and his legs, and
I like how he used the plastic
really good.
Plasma gun too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that plasma gun, man. But one last thing I want to talk about with Alexey. Red, you've put this one as the first image in our selection of his. Is this meant to be 40k, or is this something else?
That is an ABC warrior from the Judge Dreville's Judge Dreville.
Judge
Dredd series. It makes it.
I fucking recognize it now. Holy shit!
Yeah, it's in the comics, I believe. And if you see the first Judge Dredd movie, it's the big mechanical dude that goes around being a mechanical dude.
I've just realized something. Sorry, I got to throw it out there. There is a character from fiction that I really need Alexey to draw.
Is it going to be Adam Smasher?
No,
he's done
with his proportions, and how he does things. Wouldn't it be fucking insane if he did the Master Chief?
Oh, that it would.
That would be so cool, man. Look at how he does chest plates.
Yeah,
that would just.
I think you're on to something here, man.
Yeah. Holy shit, that would be chef's kiss. Right, gentlemen, we are going to need to draw this to a close. One of the things I wanted to talk about, Red, real quick, I might as well do it whilst we're recording. How would you feel about doing a part 2 to this? Because this is barely the tip of the iceberg. This is some of the best, some of the greatest. But this is ultimately barely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to community artists.
You know how many artists I have? I need to show off. I want to do more. This is just all we could fit in here. In fact, I would have been more happy just to talk about these artists more, to be honest.
Yeah.
I bet. No, I bet.
So
Bloody
much to go over. These fucking just amazing artists and their amazing contribution to this hobby. It's
absolutely.
Yeah, it's effort and talent like this that really makes Warhammer a pretty special place to be in, the whole hobby itself.
No, outside of Star Wars and maybe some other fantasy shite. It's not shite. I'm just cussing. But outside of Star Wars and other big name things, I don't think anyone really has quite an artist heavy community like we do. I feel really blessed, and I wanted to say just quickly shout out again. Big thanks to Imagist Iris. A big thanks to Praetor K. Big thanks to Konstantin Void, George Abalayan, Brushray, and Alexey Potorochin. You guys are incredible. We'll link all of your stuff down below. Thank you so much for agreeing to let us show all your stuff on here. You'll almost certainly be hearing from Red and/or I over the next couple of weeks and months to possibly beg you to shimmy some poor bastard out of your commission schedule to fit us in. But no, we really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. It's fucking awesome. Keep it up.
Huge thanks. You guys are big inspirations.
Oh yeah. Much better than our resident artist, that's for sure.
I was trying to think of a way to work that in.
I know you were. I could hear it from over here, man.
No, I'm gonna have to fucking get to Britain. I'm gonna do the flaying tonight. It seems like it. Fucking get over here, Tom.
I'm gonna sign into the Google Drive to try and find the avatars to use for this episode. My avatar's gonna have no limbs.
It's my turn now, Red. It's my turn. Dominus Nox.